Welcome back students. I am your geography teacher Vandana Joshi and you are watching SST June. Students, in the previous video of chapter Structure and Physiography, we have studied about the structure of our country, where we have studied about the peninsular block, the mountainous area of Himalaya and the northern plains, which were formed earlier after the formation of our country. Then today we are going to start to study about the subdivisions of three major divisions. Today we are going to study about the physiography of our country. Physiography means the physical structure in the various part of the given area. So here we are having a different type of physiography as our country is covering a vast area, so it is having the different type of physical structure on it. Country is stretched equally into four parts: north, east, west and south. So the physical divisions which we are going to study today that is the northern and the northeastern mountain range, the northern plain, the peninsular plateau, desert area, coastal plains and the icelands. So total 6 subdivisions are there of the physiography of our country. So today one by one we will see the physiography of our country. Now, first we will see the first topic of our today's video. The first physical structure of our country is the north and northeastern Himalayan mountains. We know that the Himalayas are stretched from east and north to west. So it is covering a vast area of our country from the northern side, also including the eastern and the western side, which is divided into Greater Himalayas or the Himadris, Middle Himalayas or the Himalayas of Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand, and the Lesser Himalayas, which is also known as the Shivalik range. Students, the Himalayas are also categorized into 5 major types, which we can study through these points. First is the Kashmir and northwestern Himalayas, in which the western part of our country and the northern part, where Kashmir and Jammu are situated, that is covered in the Kashmir and northwestern Himalayas. Then the Himachal and Uttarakhand Himalayas also coming under the middle Himalayas. Then after that the Darjeeling and Sikkim Himalayas, which are the part of the northern portion and also included with the eastern side of our country. Then after that the Arunachal Himalayas are the eastern part of the Himalayas of our country, and at the last the fifth is the Eastern Hills and Himalayas, in which we can include the Himalayas which are including 3 major mountains. These are the Garo, Khasi and Jaintia, and also included with the Naga Hills and the Mizo Hills. So students, now I am going to show you these all parts of Himalayas with your notes and with the help of map. So students, if you will go through the map and the various parts of the Himalaya, these consist of the Himalayas and the northeastern hills. The Himalayas consist of a series of the parallel mountain range. Some of the important ranges of Himalayas are Greater Himalayas or Himadri, Trans-Himalayan range, the Middle Himalayas and the Shivalik. The Himalayas in Darjeeling and Sikkim region lies in the east-west direction, while in Arunachal Pradesh they are from southwest to northwest direction. In Nagaland and Manipur, they are in north-south direction. The length of the Himalayas is about 2,500 km from east to west, and their width is between 160 km to 400 km from north to south. The Himalayas can be divided into few subdivisions, as already I told you: the Kashmir or northwestern Himalayas, Himachal and Uttarakhand Himalayas, Darjeeling and Sikkim Himalayas, Arunachal Himalayas, Eastern Hills and the mountain. Kashmir or northwestern Himalayas comprise a series of range such as Karakoram, the Ladakh, Janskar and Pir Panjal. Between the Greater Himalayas and Pir Panjal range lies the famous valley of Kashmir and Dal Lake. The Kashmir Himalayas are formed from Karewa Formation. Some important passes are Jojila, Banihal and Folula, and Vular Lake and Saltwater Lake are also found in this region. This region is drained by Indus and its tributaries Jhelum and Chenab. The southernmost part of the region consists of longitudinal valleys known as dunes. Jammu Dune and Pathankot Dune are the most important of all. The Himachal and Uttarakhand Himalayas lies between Ravi in the west and Kali, a tributary of Ghagra, in the east. All the three ranges of Himalayas are prominent in the section also. These are Greater Himalayan range, the Lesser Himalayas and the Shivalik range. From north-south, some important hill stations situated in Lesser Himalayas are Shimla, Mussoorie, etc. Some important dunes are Chandigarh Dune, Kalka Dune, Nalgarh Dune, Dehradun and Kota Dune. Dehradun is the largest of all the dunes. The world famous Valley of Flower is also situated in this region. The famous worship place such as Gangotri, Yamunotri, Badrinath, Kedarnath and Hemkund Sahib are also situated here. The Darjeeling and Sikkim Himalayas are bordered by Nepal in the west and Bhutan, Himalayas in the east. It is a region of high mountain peaks, lies Kanchenjunga and deep valleys. The Arunachal Himalayas extend from the east of Bhutan Himalayas up to the Dipu Pass in the east. The general direction of mountainous range is from southwest to northeast direction. Some of the important mountain peaks of the region are Kangtu and Namcha Barwa. The eastern hills and mountains are part of Himalayan mountain system, having their general alignment from north to south direction. They are known by different local names such as Patkoi Bum, Naga Hills, the Manipur Hills and Mizo or Lushi Hills in south. If we will go through the division of Himalaya on the basis of their parallel stretch, that is divided into three parts, that is the Himadri, Middle Lesser or Himachal Himalayas and the Shivalik or the Outer Himalayas. The Himadri, this range spread in a west-east direction from the Indus to the Brahmaputra. Mount Everest, 8,848 meters, the highest peak of the world is this range. Jojila, Jelpala and Lingashila are some of the important passes of this range. Many glaciers like Gangotri and Yamunotri originated from these snow-covered mountains. The Bhagirathi, which further comes to be known as River Ganga, originates from this Gangotri glacier. Second is the Middle Lesser or Himachal Himalayas. This range spreads in the south of the Greater Himalayas. It runs parallel to Himadri from east to the west. The average height of this range is 3,500 to 4,500 meters and its breadth is 60 to 80 kilometers. Hill stations of Shimla, Mussoorie, Nainital, Ranikhet, Kausani are located on this range. Third range is the Shivalik or the Outer Himalayas. The average height of this range is 900 to 1200 meters and breadth is 10 to 50 kilometers. Altitudinal variation exists here because this range is broader enough than average, means more than 10 to 50 kilometers in Himachal, Punjab and Kashmir states. Now students, let's see the second feature of India, that is the northern plains. Northern plains, as these are situated in the northern portion as you can see in the picture, and these are formed by the alluvial deposits brought by the rivers. The Indus, the Ganga and the Brahmaputra are the main river due to which the northern plains are formed. These plains are extended about 2,400 km from east to west. The average width is about 150 km to 300 km, and the alluvial plains can be divided into two types, that is the Khadar plain and the Bangar plain. Bhabar is narrow belt ranging between 8 to 10 km parallel to the Shivalik foothills at the break up of the slope. South of the Bhabar is the Tarai belt with the width of 10 km to 20 km. Most of the rivers ranges here and create a marshy and swampy condition known as the Tarai. And then the south of the Tarai is a belt of old and new alluvial deposits known as Bangar and Khadar respectively. Students, if we'll talk about the location of the northern plains, these are located between the Himalayas and the peninsular plateau, and according to the division it is divided into the Indus basin, the Ganga basin, the Brahmaputra valley and the Ganga Brahmaputra delta. The Indus basin is spread over the states of Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh and the Punjab. The Ganga basin covers Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and West Bengal. The Brahmaputra valley is formed in Arunachal Pradesh and Assam, whereas the Ganga Brahmaputra delta is in West Bengal, which is famous for many centuries and also for the Sundari forest. The relief of the northern plain is known as the level plain, about 200 meters high above the sea level, means it is known as the lowland, whereas different type of climates are there which are known as the summer are hot and winters are cold, and the major crops are there, rice, sugarcane, cotton and wheat crops are grown in that, and due to the river deposits the soil is very fertile, which is known as the alluvial soil. And the minerals, if we will talk in the northern plain, are the iron, coal, mica minerals are ample amount here. The geomorphological features of these northern plains are also known as the valley plains, and formed by the alluvial deposits brought by the river, which are known as the Bhabar, Tarai, Bangar, Khadar and delta. Bhabar is the narrow belt ranging between 8 km to 10 km parallel to Shivalik foothills at the breakup of the slope. Tarai, south of Bhabar, is the belt of Tarai with a width about 10 to 20 km, where the most of river rearrange without having any properly demarcated channels, creating a marshy and swampy condition known as Tarai. Whereas the Bangar, it is composed of old alluvium and from the alluvial terrace above the level on the floodplains. Khadar is the floodplain which has never old, or we can say it is a new type of alluvium is called Khadar. A newer layer is deposited by river floods every year, so it is known as khadar. Then the last formation of these river plains is the delta, which is the mouth of mighty rivers also form the delta. Especially the Sundarban delta is the famous delta of the world. And the northern plains are densely populated due to the agricultural land, or we can say availability of water is also there, fertile land is there, all things are available which are required for a easy human life. So northern plains are densely populated. Now let's look about the peninsular plateau. Students, the peninsular plateau, the oldest landform of our country, rising from the height of 150 meter of the river plains up to an elevation of 600 to 900 meter. The irregular triangle, as you can see in this picture, is known as the peninsular plateau. It is bordered by Delhi Ridge in northwest, the Rajmahal Hills in the east, Gir Range in the west, and the Cardamom Hills in the south. This is one of the oldest and stable landmark of India, and the peninsular plateau has undergone recurrent phases of upliftment and submergence accompanied by crustal faulting and fractures. Northwestern part of plateau has a complex relief of ravines and gorges. The ravines of Chambal, Bhind and Murena are some of the well-known examples. It is also divided into three broad groups. These are the Deccan Plateau, Central Highland and the Northeastern Plains. So first, the Deccan Plateau is bordered by Western Ghats in the west, Eastern Ghats in the east, and Satpura Mekal Range and Mahadev Hill in the north. Annamudai, which height is 2695 meter, the highest peak of peninsular plateau, is located on the Annamalai hills of Western Ghats, followed by Dodabeta on the Nilgiri hills. Second, if we will talk about the Central Highland, it is bounded by the Aravalli range to the west, the Satpura range on the north, generally at the elevation varying between 600 meter to 900 meter. This forms the northmostern boundary of Deccan Plateau. And the third is the Northeastern Plateau, is in fact an extension of the main peninsular plateau. This area receives maximum rainfall from the southwest monsoon. Here, as the Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats are the major part of the peninsular plateau, let's see in detail about them. First, the Western Ghats. The Western Ghats flanks and Deccan lava plateau on the west, and these have a general altitude ranging from 900 to 1100 meters and generally forested with the character of vegetation changing from evergreen to deciduous varieties. Whereas the Eastern Ghats bordered by the peninsular interior on the east, and they are not so high and consist of discontinuous line of hills. The hills consist of three main groups. First is the Northern Hills, second is the Middle Hills, and the third is Tamil Nadu Hills. The Northern Hills are more forested than the Southern. Students, now let's see about the Indian desert. It extends northwest of Aravalli Hills. The region receives low rainfall below 150 meter. Hence, it is arid climate with low vegetation cover, and it is because of these characteristics feature that is also known as the Marusthali, or we can say Registan. Some of the well-pronounced deserts land featured present here are mushroom rocks, shifting dunes and oases. Mostly it is in the southern part. On the basis of the orientation, the desert can be divided into two parts. That is, the northern part is sloping towards Sindh and the southern towards of the Run of Kutch. Most of the rivers in this regions are ephemeral. The Luni River flowing in the southern part of the desert is of some significance, and here the precipitation is very low and evaporation is very high. Now let's see about the coastal plains. India has a long coastline of approximately 7,000 km. It can be divided into two parts, the western coastal plain and the eastern coastal plain. The western coastal plain is a submerged coastal plain, and the eastern coastal plain is bordered and is an example of emergent coast. Where the western coastal plains have narrow alluvial margins interspersed by hilly terrains, and this coast has beautiful lagoons in the Malabar coastal areas and many estuaries in the Konkan coast. The western coast have been divided into Gujarat and Konkan plains and Malabar coast. This coast is dominated by the southwest winds. In the other hand, the eastern coastal plain. The eastern coast have a wide plain with well-developed deltas of the river, and this coast has well-formed deltas by the major rivers and a few lagoons. The eastern coastal plains have two border subdivisions at Coromandel and the North Circle plains. These are dominated by southwestern monsoon as well as northwest monsoon winds. These winds have cyclonic disturbance in the winter. Now let's see about the islands of India. There are total two major island groups in India. One is in Bay of Bengal, which consists of about 572 islands, namely Andaman and Nicobar Island, with its capital at Port Blair, whereas Lakshadweep Islands are scattered between 8 degree north to 12 degree north latitudes and 71 degree east to 74 degree east longitudes. The entire island group is built of coral deposits, and these are total 36 islands, of which 11 are inhabited islands. In these islands, the coastal line has some coral deposits and beautiful beaches. These islands receive convectional rainfall and have an equatorial type of vegetation. The island of the Arabian Sea includes Lakshadweep and Minicoy. These are scattered between 8 degree to 10 degree, as I already told you, and these islands are located at a distance of 280 km to 480 km of the Kerala coast. The entire island group is built of coral deposits, and Minicoy is the largest island with an area of 453 square kilometer. The entire group of Iceland is broadly divided by the 10 degree channel, north of which is the Amini Islands and to the south of Kenanor Island. The islands of this archipelago have storm beaches consist of unconsolidated pebbles and sangles and cobbles and boulders on the eastern seaboard. And that is the physiographical structure of our country. So students, here our today's topic, the physiographical structure of our country, is complete. Now I am providing you few map work from the chapter which is provided at the end of the video. It will be very helpful to you to observe the physiographical structure of our country. For the next video of geography, don't forget to keep watching SST June.